But no, Proud Family equals the Knowles Carter clan. I 100%. I'm with it.
But how many kids were there? It was the twins, Penny. Was that it?
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you have the older sister and then you have the two twins.
That's why they try to keep it under wraps. If she is pregnant, they try to hurry up and get this live action movie for the
right. Like they actually really should do a live action.
But it shouldn't be. Nah. Maybe it could be Kanye, the crazy uncle, right now.
Actually,
yeah. But Kanye is going through. I feel like Kanye just needs to. He's going through a lot. So I don't know that him being in any sort of production is the right move.
Yeah,
my hope.
Because he is running. What was it, Republican, for the next election?
He
was going independent because he likes Trump, so he wasn't gonna go Republican.
Right.
So.
Wait, has anybody actually got their registration card and seen if his name is on the ballot or not? Like
nah,
email?
they were telling people to write it in.
It's irrelevant because no one should vote for him.
Yeah, no.
We've had one pop star become president. We don't need, or like celebrity reality TV show person become president. We don't need go to school for this. Like the next person
he needs
to be in school for this.
Because he never really, I swear, he never got real help after his mom died. So he never got that therapy. And then you're already a celebrity doing all everybody's yes
He's in
man.
a bubble. He exists in a bubble that's like nothing that we experience because we can go out and be regular people and disappear and look like a certain way and go through things normally and no one's gonna bat an eye.
Right.
He does anything.
Yeah. And then you married into a family that's super exposure and stuff like that. So.
And then he married the most high profile family in America.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he didn't have a lot of space to do anything. And I think he has an actual diagnosis. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, he said he got diagnosed or whatever when he had that crazy rant and he canceled all the tours.
Yeah.
He was like, I got done. I found out I'm bipolar.
Right.
Blah, 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 which makes sense. But that's the whole thing about him and Kim going back for this. She was like, he's off his meds when he moved to Wyoming and all this stuff like that.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
He lives in Miami.
They have a house. Yep, they have a house, a nice house out there. And he was living separate from the family. Like, he was staying out. So, I think recently, whenever he went to, where was it, Charlotte or whatever, and had that most recent,
like, and other celebrities, like Dave Chappelle, tried to go up there and, like, go see him because he's cool with Kanye. And then he was like, man, it's crazy world. Tell some jokes, Dave. And he was just like, if he saw the video, he's like, tell some jokes. I came to help you, my guy.
Yeah. Wow. Did y'all see that? Like that where he went on stage and was
had like a bulletproof vest on?
Yeah, he did. No. And he was talking about like how him and Kim were considering having an abortion with North, their first daughter. Mm-hmm. And like it was y'all should go back and watch the clip because it was like
see, that sounds like he was like in the midst of an episode because they can because when people are bipolar, what happens is like there's like a syndrome right before it where you're aware of the emotional spikes, but you can't do anything about it, but you're aware of it. When you're full on bipolar, you don't know when it's happening. You're deep in your delusion. And so, but if you're around people who are not willing to bring you back to like, ground level, you're just there. And if you stay there, you'll just keep going further out. Like you need something to bring you back. That's what medication and therapy and like dieting for some people and exercise. Like they have to keep a consistent routine. Mm-hmm. Change is terrible sometimes for people with bipolar.
Yeah.
So to have him be the kind of like celebrity that he is, that is probably slowly driving him mad, and he's gonna have a big crash, unfortunately, soon before he'll get the help he needs.
Is he the biggest one that's been really diagnosed?
ASAP.
He's bigger than ASAP.
Yeah, he is too. Yeah.
As far as black entertainers, especially?
See, it's funny because when white entertainers do it, it's always like dehydrated. They say dehydrated or something, but you can tell it's probably something. But he might be the biggest.
Dave actually talked on this. The show with Lil Dicky, his hype man, Gutter, found out while he was touring that he had.
Well, he knew before he told him, but he found out when he wound out in that shoe store with his mom.
Well, he was showing, like, when they did the flashback, they showed that he was already, when he was touring before.
Spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't seen Dave, go see it. It's a pretty good show. I really did like it, though.
I was surprised.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't know that's, like, Kevin Hart produced, like, a LOL Network or whatever. That's his show.
Oh, does he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you don't see any affiliation, but I'm cool with people making money behind the scenes. I want to be rich behind the scenes and never see people.
What about, what's her name? Jennifer, she, Blackish, Dre's mama, that actress. What is her name?
Jennifer. She plays everybody's mom or
yes,
auntie.
she does. Crazy
all my
auntie.
life.
Yes.
I've been growing up with her being somebody's mom or auntie.
Yeah.
But she is diagnosed bipolar.
She wrote like a book, right?
Yeah, she did.
And
It's good.
Really good. She talks about that. She's very sexually open and all this other stuff. She's talking about how she's like now. She's like, I'll get a young, any young.
Ooh, okay.
She's talking about. She was talking about some actor or some rapper or something. She was like, she said, I almost got him if I wanted. I was just like, wait, what?
Look, I am here for that. I am here for the kind of confidence, right, that you can just be like, you know what, like, I if I want to get these young cats or whoever, like, I'm not, you know.
As long as they're all consenting.
As long as everybody's consenting.
She's about to say, I'm not married right now.
But yeah, no, I think like, you know, living with mental illness already is like crazy hard, right? Being black and living with mental illness is like doubly, triply hard. Being an entertainer and being black and having mental illness. I mean, that's a lot, you know, that's a lot going on. And so.
And it's wild also because like someone with that reach and with that much like resources still isn't able to get the help that they need. It's just like, what's wrong with our society that someone who has the money to pay for therapy or has the money to, you know, like get on medication or what or whatever, like whatever holistic approach that they need, still can't and hasn't. Like what? Like
wait, that's actually that's black. That's actually
black. I could bleed into our other conversations about because black people, we have a thing about either enabling bad behavior or ignoring it or shaming it.
Yeah.
Well, not really the bad behavior. We're shaming something different that might actually be positive.
Right.
Like you have them as you just crazy. You need to fix it.
Right.
But it's also the thing is like black community, like you going to a psychologist is like, and for
It's
a long
still
time,
a problem.
Yes, and it's like I've seen people tell their kids like there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You just need to sleep more, quit going out, and it's like, you know, all the things that are the symptoms of the problem.
Yeah.
Like you just need to stop doing it. It's like, oh no, I need help. Stop doing that. That's the issue. And we just they tried to like keep it on the down low.
Right.
But then it came to a point where some people had to. The individuals I knew that had to deal with it, something bad happened before everyone around them finally saw it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, we don't have to be here, you know? Like, it's fine.
You know what? So two things like on this. Number one, my son, my oldest, has autism and ADHD, right? And he was diagnosed when he was 2. He's 9 now. And y'all, if I could tell y'all the amount of people who like don't, like in my family, people that I know, even people that I at one point, you know, maybe considered friends, have just been like, nah, that's not a thing, that's real, that's just something they try to sell us, right? Like, you just need to make sure you're disciplining him right, like, you need to whoop his ass, you need to make sure he's doing all these things.
But that's just traumatizing. If you know what the issue is and you're not doing the proper steps, that's just trauma.
It really is. And it also,
everybody.
You know, to me personally, I'm kind of just like, how dare you, like, because they don't, maybe it's because they don't actually see his, you know, the struggle, like the challenges that he has every day, just to be able to even communicate, right? Like, imagine living in a world in your head where you know what it is that you need, but you can't communicate it out to people, and people are always frustrated with you, or people are just not, you know, they're just not getting it. You know, that's already hard enough, but then to have to like try to defend to other people, like, no, this is actually this isn't me just being, you know, bad or crazy or whatever, like, I'm actually dealing with some shit, like, can I get some support, whatever, like, that's really hard. And I think it's partially why I actually just started my graduate program for clinical mental health counseling. Not trying to, you know, but one of the I'm not trying to make a big deal about that, but really one of my biggest motivations behind it was that I know that in general, but especially in our community, we do this, right? We downplay, or we don't get the help that we need. And a lot of times I think it comes from a place of feeling like we don't have the room to have issues, right? Like, we already have so many things stacked against us, right? We're Black in America, right? So we already are struggling. So you can't add stuff like mental illness, or like, we've got to be, you know, good. We're survivors. We're, you know.
But
so I get it.
But what makes it even worse is like, because it's from a place of love.
Yeah.
Like, how do you tell someone you love, like, what you're doing for me is not helping, it's actually making this worse.
Right.
But you do it because you love me.
Right.
Like, I have ADHD, PTSD, anxiety, and depression. I found out as an adult. And like finding out as an adult is different from a child because it's like you already went through all the experiences thinking that you just had to overcome it and you'll be fine, and then you find out as an adult it's like, no, you shouldn't have done it that way. This is how you need to take care of yourself now and deal with it. And that was like almost like a weight off your chest when you go and get those diagnoses, because now you know what the problem is. Right. Now you can fix it. Now you can go and do something about it in a positive way if you so choose.
Yeah. Yeah. That's real life. Because I too have major depression and anxiety, and my parents did not believe me for the longest, which is really frustrating. As a child, to go to your parents and be like, something's wrong, I need help, and they're just like, oh, if you just pray to God about it, you know, or oh, if you just get better grades and go to a good college, like,
or black people don't do that.
And while like I get that you know, like want me to have a stronger faith or whatever, like prayer without works is null and void, you know, like you gotta meet, you know, whoever you believe in halfway. You can't just be like, I just want this and it's gonna come to me. Like, you have to work for it.
Right.
So in honor of National Suicide Month, like, shout out to everyone that's still here. Rest in peace to those who aren't, because like depression is real. Almost got me many a times. I'm actually like, not to make it about me, but you know, since we're talking about it, I'm 2 years clean of self-harm. And substance abuse, you know, like black people really be going through it, and the world does not listen.
I'm gonna add flames over
there. But yeah, no, it's so hard, and it's hard, especially like once you are driven to the point of like what it feels like no return. Like, you can show the symptoms A, B, and C, but it's not until you get to Z where you're like at the very edge of people like, oh, something's wrong with you. And it's like, why didn't you believe me
when I was saying it?
Yeah, like you're waiting for me to kill myself before you're like, oh, well, maybe we should take you to, you know, see someone. It's like when I was crying or, you know, like sleeping all day, you should have got a hint, but you didn't wait until.
Black people,
you know, like,
have a pride, and nobody wants to, like, nothing's wrong with my kid type thing. Yeah. And there's also a thing of like finance. It always gets like, well, to fix you, how much is that going to cost me?
Right.
Yes.
Is that just going to detriment the rest of us to try to help you with this issue? Where I think I could talk you through it myself. If you just need to talk, I can talk to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop. That's the talk. What's wrong with you? All right, don't do that no more.
Right.
Because little things can set people off, and it can be triggers, and you trying to explain that to somebody else. It's like, well, I went there, and, you know, I didn't have my pencil. It's like, I got pencils. What you saw you just with? But it's a whole thing of building up, so.
Right, yeah. Well, people don't really, I think in general, have a good understanding of how trauma actually works. And so, you know, I think it's easy for a lot of us to be like, girl, what do you mean? I checked it. I texted you and was like, hey, you good? Like, I did my part, right? I was, you know, I didn't know that you were going through all of that. You know, whatever. So it makes me kind of think about too, like, from like a human standpoint, like, what is my like human obligation to my brothers and sisters, right? Like, how do I make sure that I'm being like super present in the lives of people around me, and I'm making sure that I'm checking in past the just initial like, hey, you good? Or if I say like, hey, how are you? Like, actually wanting to know how you are, as opposed to just doing the greeting that people do, you know, like,
or let me know if you need something. Like, you reach out to me if you're feeling down. It's just like, if I'm feeling down and I can't cope for myself, what makes you think I'm about to sit here and tell you I haven't eaten the last 2 days? Like, what? Like, you just have to be more aware, more present with these people outside of that.
Yeah.
Are you doing okay? Like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm really not okay. I'm really not. Yeah.
Please wash my dishes for me. You know, like, please come do some laundry because I haven't done it. Like, just, you know.
Yeah.
But also, kudos to you for going to school. I imagine that it is helping you find a way to communicate.
It is. It really is. It is. And it's also just, you know, I'm 10 years post-college at this point, which makes me feel really old, like post-undergrad. And, you know, I've stepped into, in the last 10 years, stepped into the role of like wife, right, mom, right, professional, whatever. And, you know, the whole time knowing that, like, there feels like there's a purpose, you know, like that I'm supposed to, and this is not it, and just, you know, having a hard time kind of figuring out how to get to that place. But I know that for me, like, connecting with people and trying to support people through their journeys.
I told you what to do.
Stop it. Like, that's really important to me. So I'm really excited. It's a lot of work. I'm still full-time mom, full-time working. and now this, but I appreciate it. All the support.
Y'all are low-key the Huxtables on the low. If this was like a young Huxtable...
Why would you make that?
Because it's funny, really, just like thinking of us in college and y'all being broke.
We ain't even got on the broke subject yet, but
just,
business out there like that.
It was funny because I got out early because I saw the system for what it was. I was like, y'all ain't about to get me with these 4 years. Let me get these certifications and get out of here. So I was the first one with a job, and I used to feed these heathens.
You did. You were so good to us for college.
But I never got that college. That's why I always visit them, because I never got the dorm experience or whatever. Like, because I stayed here and went to school. But visiting them, I was like, man, going over the house, you ain't got nothing to drink. Low key, I'm still living my people's, looking for apartments. I was like, y'all ain't got nothing. Y'all got the hard up here. Y'all do this?
Water at the fountain?
I was like, man, let's go to the store, man. I can't see y'all like this. I did my part for this.
Y'all like this?
That was my mental health contribution. I was like, remember I got y'all that juice 5 minutes ago for the break?
Right.
I did my part.
Oh my God, yeah.
But yeah, seeing that girl, it's funny y'all are the second one with the house out of the group, right?
Yeah.
So y'all the second one, but y'all got the bigger house. Kids and all this stuff. Let me see. Y'all both went through.
Alright.
Yeah. She kept through and got her degree first, but he just got his. And it's funny because he was passing me up because I remember being in their little apartment in the duplex, and he's asking me because everybody's figuring out what they want to do at school. He's asking me about computer stuff. I was like, man, you should do networking. I was thinking making more than me. I'm like,
I told you.
He only works like 2 days. I was like, you should use one. I got a book if you want to use it.
No, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I mean, I'm super great. We've been here for 4 years, I guess, and it's. We both grew up poor, like most of the people that we know.
Broke Tennessee. That's the funniest thing, because y'all got these broke Tennessee. I was like, y'all don't have to.
We don't have to live like this. No.
we can get the pizza and we can strip. I was like, you can get groceries now, y'all. Y'all ain't got to keep eating this cold pizza. The kids are eating good, but us, we don't. I was like, y'all don't have to budget like this.
Give your kids hot meals. You up there eating cold pizza over the trash can.
Right. Yeah. But everybody's in this house. Everybody got cars. I was like, y'all already above with this American dream. It's like y'all not check to check. The fact that you were able to like take a break, go back to school and stuff like that, cushion for each other.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have it. So.
Yeah. Have you all taken some time to celebrate?
No. Well, she has.
What?
You take your girl trips.
Oh yeah, I've gone on a couple girl trips. I turned 30 in July, so we went to super grown. We try. I mean, the thing is, life is like things just move so fast. You get really caught up in your day to day and whatever. And we don't always necessarily take the time to just like sit and like, oh, you know what? We should be celebrating like where we are, especially because. I think there is also something of a guilt factor, at least
about being parents and having fun and the kids there. It's like, what about we? It's like they're living a great life. Just
but
get them kids.
I know
they gonna be there when you get back, still wanting stuff for free.
No, it's good. I think you know what it is. I think we all just have to remember that no matter what roles we've taken on, right? So we're parents and friends and wives and husbands and whatever. Like you have to still be making sure that you're taking care of you is like the bottom line, right? Because if I'm not taking care of myself, then there's no way that I can be a good anything, right? Wife, mother, friend, employee, any of the things. And that's not selfish. It's not selfish to do that. So I think as to your point of this being, National Suicide Awareness Month and thinking about all the dark places, especially in 2020. 2020 has been a hot mess. It's really important that we as people, but especially as Black people, take care of ourselves.
And take some time to celebrate the wins, because it's really easy to get caught up in this bad thing happened. All right, now this bad thing happened, and you just so focus on the negative. And not that you don't need to be present when you're going through the negative stuff, but also when you go through the positive stuff, celebrate it, announce it just as much as you do the negative. Otherwise, it feels like you're in a hamster wheel of pain. And who wants that? Like, what kind of life is that to just kind of make it through one thing after another? But go, y'all. Look at y'all. Y'all whole ass adults.
Yay wins. Yay wins, everybody. Wins around the table.